Guys, today we're covering 8.7, which is volume of pyramids and cones, which is a lot like prisms and cylinders. The only difference is you multiply by 1/3, or what I like to do is it's the same volume formula, and I just take my answer and divide by 3. Either one is acceptable. Okay. So for number 1, the first thing that I do is write down my formula, okay, which is the volume is capital B times H divided by 3. Now remember, the capital B stands for area of base shape, not figure. Base shape of 3D figure. Now, what's nice about a pyramid and a cone is it's always going to be the bottom. The base is always going to be the bottom because it's opposite the point. Okay. So we could say always bottom because opposite the point. Okay. So the base shape is always the bottom because it's opposite the point in a pyramid and a cone. Okay, so here we go. So our base shape is, well, the dimensions are the same, so we would say it's a square. So to find the capital B, it's S squared. So the capital B is going to be 12 squared, which is, I don't have to write this B all the time, just so that I'm modeling what you're doing. So that's 144. So the capital B equals 144. Now, the height, okay, the height is always the distance from base to the point. It's always the distance from the base to the point. Okay, so that means this is going to be 10. This is the base and height for the square or the triangle, or it's what the side length is. Okay, so now we plug in and we have 144 times 10, all divided by 3, which is going to give me 1440 divided by 3. And then we get a handy dandy calculator, but you just have to write it before you type it, which is what we're doing. So I'm doing I gotta make my calculator darken up, lighten up so I can see it. So I have being funny. Divide by 3, and we get that the volume equals 480 feet cubed. I know I gave you a lot of notes in the middle of working that one, so there you won't have all of that every time. This right here is the work that you would show. All right, jumping down, let's look at number 4, okay? Because all of these are rectangular or square pyramids. Now we're going to look at a triangular pyramid. And the triangular pyramid is because it's named that because the base is a triangle. Triangular pyramid, which means, again, we start with writing the formula, capital B times H divided by 3. Now we have to figure out, well, what's my base shape? Because the name is triangular, that means the base shape is a triangle, okay? Which has the formula of 0.5 or a lot of you haven't been using the 0.5, you do the 1/2 or divide by 2. So 1/2 base times height. Now, that's just talking about the triangle. This is all the triangle, not the pyramid. So when I'm looking at this, here's the right angle for that base. Okay, right there. So that means I'm going to say, okay, this is the base of the triangle. This is the height of the triangle. This is of the triangle. Those are the numbers I plug in. So I'm going to have 1/2 times 6 times 8, which that's going to give me 3 times 8. So that gives me a capital B of 24. Now, the 11, that's where I need to understand. This is the height of the pyramid. I'm dealing with two heights here, so you may want to label them so that you know that these two are different heights. This is of the 3D figure. This is of the triangle. Okay, so now we plug in. So I have 24 times 11 over 3. Now, one thing you may notice at this point is, well, hold up. 24 and 3, that can cancel. That can be divided. 24 divided by 3 equals 8. So now I'm doing 8 times 11, which gives me a volume of 88 inches cubed. And there's my final answer. Okay, next question. Jumping over to talking about cones. All right, so let's look at number 7. Again, it's the same formula, guys, okay? We want to find the volume of each cone below, round to the nearest tenth, okay? It gives you the pi r squared in this formula, but it's still, I think on the formula chart, it's written capital B times H, which I like to do the divide by 3. It just so happens that when it's a cone, the base shape is a circle. So we have capital V equals capital B times H divided by 3. My base shape is a circle, so that's pi r squared. So I have pi times, well, what's my radius in here? 3.5 times 3.5 squared. Notice the pi is not squared, the radius is squared. Some of you made that mistake on quizzes and so forth. It's the pi is not squared, the radius is what's squared. So now I can come over here and do 3.5 times 3.5, which gives me pi times 12.25. Okay, so I'm not going to plug in pi until the end. Plug in pi last. Okay. So this means I'm going to have 1225 pi times, this is the height of the cone, 16 all over 3. So I'm going to have the 1225 times 16. So I have 196 pi divided by 3. Now, if I think about my divisibility rules, nope, that's not going to work. So 196 divided by 3. Okay, so now I'm plugging in the 3.14. So we have 196 times 3.14, all divided by 3. Which is 6.15.44 divided by 3. So I get 205, and it says round to the nearest tenth. So therefore, when I'm looking at my calculator, this is going to be 205.1. What's my units here? Miles. this is what my volume equals. Now, the pi button might be a little bit off from what your answer choices are, but remember, we're using 3.14 instead of pi. All right, jumping down to number 10. Okay, we're going to kind of work backwards here a little bit. It wants me to actually find what the height is, okay, of a cone with a radius of 12 inches and a volume of 1281.12. Okay, so first things first, I know what my radius is. I know what my volume is. I'm trying to find the height. Okay, so I'm going to plug in. First thing I write my formula, then I plug in what's given to me. So we have our formula. Volume equals capital B times H divided by 3. So now we plug in. And we're going to have 1281.12 equals, well, the capital B, that's found by pi r squared. So I'm going to plug that in. So I could have pi r squared H divided by 3. So we have pi times 12 squared times, ooh, I don't know this, that's my H, all divided by 3. Okay, now I'm going to start switching colors a little bit here to help. So first things first, I want to get rid of the fraction. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3 to get this denominator to cancel. So I have 1281.12 times 3, which is going to give me 3843.36 equals, and at the same time I can do the 12 squared, so that's going to give me 144 pi h. Okay, now this is not the only way to work the problem. I want you to make sure that you understand that. Okay. Next, well, at this point I need to get the h by itself. All of this is multiplication, so I'm going to divide by the 144 pi on both sides. Well, I'm going to start off by rewriting this so you can see what's happening. 3843.36 equals 144 pi. And actually at this point, I'm going to go ahead and plug in the 3.14 because I'm solving for h. Okay, so I can do 144 times 3.14, enter, which gives me 452.16 h equals 3843.36. Now, this is just solving an equation. So I just need to get the h by itself. So I'm going to divide by 452.16, divide by 452.16, 3843.36 divided by 452.16 equals 8.5 inches equals the height. Okay, this is why I let you use calculators. Since you've got those big numbers, you don't have to worry about the calculations. You just have to remember your steps for solving equations. Okay, the other ones are straightforward. They're not having to work backwards to find a dimension. Okay, if you've got any questions, please make sure that you put question marks so that you ask me the next day. Have a great day. Bye.